have this, right? You can have that attitude, or you can play the game.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, for me, I'm glad I did not experience any of those things at the present moment within, let's say, the last 5 years. But I remember working on a movie of the week in Arizona, and it was hot, and I'm playing this detective,
Mm-hmm.
and my son is innocent. Nick Stalls, he starred in that, and remember that was the launch of his career. Dude's so good. And I remember walking into the craft service trailer, and the gentleman said, "What are you doing here? You're not supposed to be in here to get." I'm like, "Oh, well, listen, sir, I'm one of the lead actors, and I don't care. You wait outside and get some water." I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
"What?" So I was just about to grab. I was just about to grab and just grab the collar of his shirt just in the way so I can get some of his carotid.
Mm-hmm.
And kind of like, like you're going to blink out in a second, pal. Because there was like a ice cream machine behind him, that you could open it up and get your ice cream. So I was going to pin him against that, just get that leverage, get a nice, good fulcrum on him.
Mm-hmm.
And the urge was so there because just the way I can just see him. I can hear him saying the N word while he was
Mm-hmm.
talking to me. I can just hear it. And I was like, oh man, okay. I already saw it. I saw exactly where I was going, what I was going to do. So I turned around and walked out, got on my phone, called my agent, and said, I'm going to go stand over there somewhere until somebody calls production and lets them know that that man said that. Because if anybody says anything to me right now, I'm going to just explode.
Mm-hmm.
Because I can just see him saying the N word. I can hear it. I can smell it off of him.
Mm-hmm.
He meant that. And a couple of days earlier, I was leaving the mall, and this gentleman said, F and N word. And I went, what? And I looked, and he just peeled off. And I'm like, because I made a move.
Mm-hmm.
I made a move. So,
but have you ever had to like find yourself in a situation? I mean, I know at times where you feel it, you know what they're thinking, but
yeah,
you're in a situation where you're in this balance of trying. Okay, do I stay professional and suck it up,
right.
or there's that other hard level where it's like, okay, how do I make change by staying quiet?
Yeah.
Because it's like, it's almost to the point where, like, when people have said, and this goes in the climate we're dealing with right now. I'm sure you've heard politicians. I'm sure you've heard,
Yeah.
Anytime there's a situation that happens with a person of color, and you always have that one spokesperson that says, or even friends that you have in your inner circle that say,
Right.
well, I haven't experienced that. Like, it doesn't happen here as much in my neighborhood, or I've never been in a situation where I've experienced, racism, or
Right.
they say, well, I have black friends,
Right.
so I'm not a racist or whatever, et cetera, et cetera. And to me, it's like there's this balance of, like, almost to the point where, like, we're supposed to just take it and keep moving.
Right.
And to me, it's like, I don't know about you, like, in retrospective, like, what attracts you when you get a script or you get presented with an offer? What attracts you to that role? Is it more of...
I can tell you what it is. It's always how they have developed that character.
Mm-hmm.
Because if I'm going to embody that character he has, it needs to be something for me to attach myself to. And for sure, it's got to be a character with gravitas, with intellect, with power.
Mm-hmm.
And even if he doesn't have much to say, the presence is still there. And he's always treated like a man, not because of his skin color. He's a man.
Mm-hmm.
And That is one of the first things I look for. Not the guy that's the through line, but the guy all the time. Even if it's second, third, fourth cat on the call sheet, 6 cat, 7 cat, number 41 cat. You know, I was number 41 on Badlands because third season. So even with that, there was something there that I know that every day I come to work, and this goes back to what you were saying earlier. When you approach anyone in any circumstances, on the street, on the job, the way you present yourself, there's something that they can see in your aura. Okay, I need to treat him just like he's treating me right now. He's a no fuck about kind of guy. So we're good, right? Even if
do you feel that's that work? Because I mean, I know
even if they hate me, even if I think they don't like me, even if, I mean, there's been times I walked in rooms and there was some guy there that was just like, oh no, we're not casting that cat, and this is the reason why. I've had it all.
But do you feel it's because of you know, because I think what it boils down to, and I always say, like, you know, when you have me and you have personalities, we have a presence, we have a strong demeanor, we have conviction about who we are as Black men.
Exactly, and that's what it is.
A lot of times people look at that situation as, I don't even say if it's arrogance, because it's not. It's not. It's just who you are and where you come from. Exactly. I've had an agent. I've had an agent I'm not going to mention the name. We're in a big room with all these people, and I remember we were talking, and one of the lead partners said, "Would you tone yourself down?" And I'm like, "Would I tone myself down for what? What are you talking about?" And he goes, "Well, you know, you have this present, you have this, that," and I just straight said, "Would you ask Tom Cruise to tone himself down?" And I've worked with Tom on Collateral, and honestly, it's good that you said his name, because it's like people, what they see on TV, and I'm sure you understand this as an entertainer as well, people have a hard time seeing reality and real. And I work with a lot of cats, and to me, Tom not only is a general, like a complete general on set, a professional, a guy who's a perfectionist, but straight up one of the nicest, down-to-earth guys that you'll ever meet. And he's very passionate, and he's very loving. And it's the same with Keeper Sutherland. Like, I remember, just like you said with Dennis Hopper, like, you know, you walk on certain sets with certain people for the first time, and you've admired their work from afar, and you don't really know what you're going to get, because I always say, you know, your heroes sometimes disappoint you. And I remember walking onto that set, nervous, scared as shit, deer in headlights, and I'm watching Kiefer and even Tom walk around this room, and, you know, PAs are running after them, and they're not even saying nothing. It's sex shit. It's sex shit. It's just what it is. It's sex shit, and you get past that. Both of these guys are super tiny, like very small individual guys. I'm 6'3". And they're like 5'4", 5'5", 5'6", roughly. And you're seeing this commanding presence in the sense of who they are. And I was literally just in awe watching. I'm going, okay, but when you, and this is where I have the which you can maybe answer to this. It's like, do you feel there's a difference in the sense of where, okay, guys like that, their intimidation aspect of their characters, because Keeper is very commanding. When you look at him, you always thinking Jack Bauer, you know, always. But off camera, he's the nicest guy. But when it comes to work, he don't play. And those guys are considered, you know, when they have that loud, put about bravado, you know, attitude, they're considered, you know, generals, professionals, guys that you can respect. But when it's a Black person in our business put into that situation, whether it's a female or whether it's a male, when you come in there to work and you come in there and you know exactly who you are as a person, as you say, you know, my mentor used to tell me, actors don't act, they feel. They feel the emotion, they feel the scene, they feel the presence of every layer, and they try to take every layer and bring it into a role. So for you, when you say, okay, hang on a second, I have somebody at my door. Okay, it's open.
Still on my call here. I love it. So
Okay,
go
so
ahead.
yeah, you said before earlier where you were like, you know, when the person said for you to tone it down, and we're always told to tone it down, and because we're looked at as not in the same aspect of, because you would never tell a Tom Cruise to turn it down on set. You would never
No,
tell a Kiefer Sutherland to turn it
you're
down
not
on
going to
set.
ask me to tone myself down for what? Why am I going to
Exactly.
tone myself down? So, you know, those are,
But do you
but
feel there's a difference, like a different, there's a different level of respect in the sense of where they're considered what they are, but if we are
of course,
who we are and who we are,
it
we're
takes a
considered a
lot.
problem. And then that cast never addresses, you know, I don't want to work with Sherman. That
Yeah,
guy's too.
it takes a lot for you to get to a place to where you're respected
Mhm.
as an artist, as an individual, as a man, as a black man, all those things. And you know, it takes time to do so. You know, you play your cards right, and like I said, you know, there's only 4 living rooms in Hollywood. So what I'm going to do is make sure. I had an acting teacher who used to say this all the time. They may not like me, but they will
Mhm.
respect my work. So
Mhm.
but I take it a step further. You know, we're all doing the same thing. We're all achieving the same goal. And you can tell when you step on certain people's set, um, when you notice what I do is always when I'm projecting myself into a space where I'm going to be working, I'm not just thinking about my fellow actors or the producers or the writers or the showrunner. I'm thinking about craft service, you know, the custodians. I'm thinking about I got to get along with everybody, and especially the wardrobe department, you know, because they can make
Mhm.
your life a living hell by, you know, putting you in some